Welcome to Chapter 6 of ETU, Free Mastermind, CRT, Bootcamp, and Chapter 6 is going to be talking about types of ranges. There's going to be 4 sections. It's supposed to be 3, but I'm going to guys do a favor. I'm going to show you guys do an extra, mini chapter to Chapter 6, which is kind of pointed as well to that range trading. It's related to range trading, but it's a gift from me to you guys, right? And Chapter 6, they said it's gonna be 3. It's gonna be 4 mini chapters, so it's gonna be Chapter 6, 6.2, 6.5, 6.75, and the last chapter, right? As a chapter, whatever chapter there is, right? I don't know my math, but let's get into the Chapter 6. One of the mini chapters we're gonna be talking about. I actually forgot I was gonna talk about there. Chapter 6, types of ranges. We're gonna be talking about one of the 3 types of ranges in today's video. We're talking about a typical range in today's video, right? In this chapter of the mini chapters of the 4, 1 out of the 4, right? And this chapter is gonna specifically go around with a typical range, right? Typical ranges. We're not gonna be talking about this one, by the way. Neither are we going to talk about the range times of ranges, right? Time ranges. And by the way, for the Monday range candle, we're going to be talking about that as well, which is important as well, right? But we consider our mini chapter, which is our Chapter 6, one of the mini chapters. This chapter would be a typical range. Typical ranges, range bound, price movement stuck between a high and a low. So when a market makes a high and a low, market is stuck in between this range high and range low, right? Between the high and the low, right? Go to our next one. So it's gonna be considered a range dynamic or a typical range, but people call it a range dynamic and a typical range. You can call it whatever you want, just branding, right? When price moves within a relative fixed range, so high and low, over a period of time, it is said to be in a range. So right when the market makes a high and a low, in the next candle, it stays inside the range. It doesn't really price out at a high or low, right? That's straight away now considered a range. In the range or range bound conditions, buy below the range low and sell above the range high. This is why I said it's very important, right? If you go see my live stream, I said the reason I lost this trade because I sold when the market never priced out the range high or range low. And keep in mind, please, that these Chapter 6, the whole chapter with the mini chapters are very important because this chapter right over here are very, very important. The whole main reason is very important is because it improves the probability, increases the probability of your trades working out in your favor. Please keep in mind, I'll show you guys I'll even show you guys an example, right? And let's get into it. Trade only at the extremist of the range. So that means you only want to trade one side of the range gets hurt, one side of the range gets purged, right? The range low gets purged, then you can buy. Eventually, if you're still stuck in the range, the market's looking to go to the range high right over here. Eventually, you can buy another one to go to the upside, right? But you never do anything in between. You only take action once the range high or range low gets purged, right? Now, this will save you time. Now, this will let you know when should you get in or when should you not get in. When should you be in the market and when should not, right? So when to sit down and when to snipe, right? Another one, this helps you save time. Typical ranges. And you can see market create a low, create a high. Now when the market's stuck in between, that is considered to be a range, right? Simple as that. I'll go to the next chapter. How to trade ranges. Trading ranges is pretty simple. We have got to follow. Trading ranges are very simple. We have to follow specific protocols for it, right? This right over here. Oh, that's just a cat. Oh my god, scared me. Came right over here. Quick little thing right over here to the cat. Kind of scared me right over here. Sit down, baby. Sit down. All right. Trading protocols for types, trading ranges. You never want to trade inside the range. You only want to trade once the range high or range low gets purged. And by the way, you could trade inside the range, but only once the range high or range low gets purged. Oh, this guy is making me mad. Hey, wait. Be calm, baby. Go back to your brother, man. Go. Get away from me, man. Making me uncomfortable. The other one's right over there. If you can see in the chat, if you can see right over here, right? The other one's right over there, sitting down, looking at us. Actually sleeping. He says right over here, don't trade inside the range, but you can once the range higher or range low gets purged. Eventually, you can start trading inside the range to the other range side, right? He says right over here, you buy the breakout of the low of the range, you sell the breakout of the high of the range, because this breakout are considered a false breakout. If your ranges goes the higher time frame, it's going to be considered a false breakout. It says false, breakout to the downside or upside, right? For trading ranges, you're gonna have to target the 50% of the range. So your target 1 will be the 50% of the range. Target 2 would be range high, range low. The reason that 50% is one of your range, because the equilibrium, obviously, because equilibrium could cause a reversal on range trading. Range trading, the 50% mark of the range could cause a reversal, and this is why I say right when the 50% range get hit, and if I don't have an entry on it, I'm not taking it, because a reversal could happen. It's down for me to take a short entry, and the 50% of the range already got hit, right? After pushing the high of it, right? So it says right over here, wait for the purge / breakout at a key time. Combine it with CRT. We're gonna be talking about that as well. CRT, we're gonna be talking about, because typical ranges, which is another word, dynamic ranges with timed ranges with CRT ranges, right? They all could be in the same thing. They could all be in the same setup, by the way, which makes the probability such a high probability. I'll talk about that as well. I'll give you guys a way that why it makes it such a high probability, right? And I'll give you guys even an example on the next later chapter once we get through all of it, right? Right over here. So it's gonna be a trading ranges, as you can see, range high, range low. When the range low gets purged, you want to buy. You can see there's a CRT range, and this could be called as a timed range. If this candle is at a specific time, this would be a timed range / CRT range. And you can see this. All of these are CRT, by the way. Every candle is a CRT, right? You can see range low got purged is a typical range dynamic range. Range low got purged. You want to go for the 50%, eventually to the high of it, right? So once our high gets purged, there's a timed range plus CRT range. This might not be a time range, but this might be a time range. This will be a CRT. Sometimes it might be a time. Keep that in mind. You can see once the range low gets purged, you want to buy here. Once the range high gets purged, you want to sell here, right? And you target 50% of each. And please keep in mind, and one little hint to the later chapter, another word could be total soup. I'm not going to get into it when we talk about it later on the chapter, because I don't want to be giving out the sauce, making it bad. And now let's get to the chart straight away and talk about the range dynamic. That's typical ranges, right? And right over here. So range dynamic would be this. Market is stuck in between this range right over here. As you can see, I've already told you guys how to mark it out, so you don't really need to know how to mark out this range right over here. You can see right when the market goes the high and the low, the swing low, right, and the high. Now this will be considered as a range. So every time the market is inside of this range, now it's in a range. So now this range low, this range high. Range high got purged. You want to sell right over here, right? And this right over here, keep in mind, is going with the higher time frame. It's just going with the higher time frame. So when the range low got purged, you don't want to buy here, right? Why don't you not want to buy here? There's many reasons. Higher time frame. Right, higher time frame is bearish. You can see whether the range high got purged, of the range dynamic, not the CRT range. This is not a CRT range. This right over here is not a CRT range. It's not a timed range. Neither it is a CRT range, but it's not a timed range. Keep that in mind. Timed range with CRT range with range dynamics make your trade such a high probability of a trade, right? You can see you would have traded this timed range / CRT range, worked out in your favor, but you would have had a loss here because this is a day before a high major impact news, so you want to be trading that day. But the day before, you can't trade this from right over here. There would be this right over here as a SMT here. Not SMT, I mean, there's an hourly time frame. You would have had your entry on that. The hourly time frame would have had an entry right on this 8 a.m. candle. You would have had a low high purge. Eventually, you want to sell the high gets purge. So that would be the later chapter. We're talking about that as well. And that's considered a CRT range / time range. Important. You can see high probability where the market do come down even more, right? So right up there, you could trade inside the range. You could sell. You can. So once the range high gets purged, the range dynamic. I know how they said never trade in the side of the range. In this case, you can because the range high got purged. But the only thing you could do is sell. You cannot buy. Keep that in mind. And let's show you guys another example before the next main chapter here. Let's show you guys one more example on this. This happened. It's very easy to spot. Kind of messed up on that. You can see market purged out a low. I mean, this market made a low and a high. Now, market right when it made the low, this high and this low, these candles right when it's look at it, now it's a range, straight away range, right? Right when the market purged out the range low, you only want to buy here, right? So you had two opportunities to buy here. Opportunity number one, and there's another word that's considered a total soup, by the way, because a little mini chapter that we're going to talk about. This could be your first buying entry, but the drawn look has not been met, which is right over here. So next one, you would have got an enter here. You can see in that time, we could have only sold right here. We can only buy. We can never sell because the range low got purged. So if you want to trade inside the range, you can only buy on this range low, right? So the opportunity to buy right over here. Another word, this would be a total soup / time range / CRT range, right? So as you guys know, you can see right over here, boom, CRT low got purged. Right over here, you buy below the range low, you sell above the range high. You can see market eventually met the drawn liquidity. And ranges are very important. What are the other protocols for ranges? Not protocols. What are the other key factors to the range? What are the filters? What are the, to this ranges, right? And there's multiple ranges. There's a typical range. There's a CRT range. There's a time range. They all help you with one specific thing. Not specific thing. Help you with multiple stuff. It helps you with the drawn liquidity. It helps you with what's next in the market. It helps you with proficient take profits, right? It helps you with, once again, what does it help you without? Drawn liquidity, proficient take profit, and what's next in the market. And yeah, see you guys to the next chapter, the mini chapters of the chapter 6 of the types of ranges. Peace out.